all, good morning and welcome everyone. And before we kick off, I would like everyone to say a big welcome to the one and only Gordon Smith, ladies and gentlemen. Give him a big round of applause. So we're going to sort of just do a wee sort of intros. I've introduced obviously to Gordon. This four of the boys here are USA boys, so if you want to introduce yourselves to the camera boys.
I'm Rico. I'm Dick. I'm Tegan. I'm Tom.
And two of our girls that are going over to the USA.
I'm Farah. I'm Alex.
And we've got some representatives from Scottish Autism here who's going to be our nominated charity for the rest of the season. If you guys can introduce yourselves.
Yeah, I'm Alex. I'm income generation partner at Scottish Autism, and it's my colleague.
I'm Karen, income generation lead at Scottish Autism. Nice to meet
Okay,
you.
brilliant. And to my left we have Jen, who's our office manager and head of fitness and nutrition, amongst many other hats that you're now wearing these days.
Yep.
So welcome to everyone. And I'm just sort of going to talk you through sort of the next 15-20 minutes a little bit. We've asked Gordon to come in, and we've done a podcast about a month ago with Frank McAvenny that went down very, very well. So for all the fans of the other side, then we've levelled up today. Gordon, for those that need introduction, has played well over 100 games for Glasgow Rangers. He is the ex-chief executive of the Scottish Football Association, ex-director of football at Glasgow Rangers, and obtained his degree at Glasgow Caledonian University. Gordon, if I could start with you, first of all, as I said, thank you for coming in. Great pleasure to have you here. I spoke to you, these are some of our boys and some of our girls that will be going over to the US, 23, 24. And they're going over there to study and be full-time footballer at the same time.
Yeah.
So if you can start off by giving us a little bit about your background, going way back when you were at Rangers and then going to university.
Well, I started off at Kilmarnock and I had the chance to go to Rangers, Celtic and Kilmarnock. I was 14 and my dad said, "You go to Kilmarnock," and I actually said, "Well, because you're a fan?" And he said, "No, because you've got more of a chance there." He says, "You've got more of a chance at Kilmarnock," and he was absolutely spot on. Now, from a little boy, young kid, I had the desire to be a professional footballer, but I also had another thing which you do require, and I'm sure you've thought about this as well, and maybe you're all there. Actually, at the moment, I had the belief I was going to be a player as well. You've got to believe in yourself, or else you're not going to make it. If you think you're not going to be a player, you won't be. So you have to believe. So you have to the desire and the belief. Somebody once said as well that there's a third element to it, you have to the expectancy as well. So you have to expect to be a player. But I always thought I was going to be one. Now, my mum was a big influence in our house that she never thought that I could have a career in football. So she was the one that put down your line of my education, that I had to be educated. Now, I became a professional player at 16 and I started playing in Kilmarnock when I was still at school in the reserve team. And at 16, my mother said to me to stay on to do your hires because you've got to try and get educated. So rather than going full time, I stayed on and did my hires in school. But I was in the Kilmarnock first team at 17. So I'd be playing against Rangers and Celtic, Aberdeen, Hibs, Hearts on a Saturday, and then Monday I was in a classroom with my school friends, So that was me, that was my influence from my mum doing my hires. But then when I was 18 years of age, I left, I got 4 hires, and I was actually talking with Kilmarnock about becoming a full-time professional. And I came home one day from a summer job I had, and my mum said, "There's your dinner ready, and there's your acceptance." I said, "What for?" She said, "Your degree." I said, "I never applied, Mum." She said, "No, I did." Right? My mum applied for me for a degree. I was like, "Mum," and she said, "No, that's the best thing for you." Now, time going by, she died 2 years ago, but I always thanked her later on because it was a great help to have an education at the same time as being a professional footballer. So I did my degree course, and as I say, it was great from one point of view. It took your mind off the football to a degree. Do you know what I mean? You're actually doing other stuff, and it's good actually to not to have to think all the time, football, but how you played, how you're going to play. It's a nice little recourse to have, is to have education and studies, and that was good. So I did that and did my degree, and then I just started a job. I got a job as a marketing development manager for a company in Glasgow, and I was 10 days in the job. It was when the phone rang. It was the commandant manager. He said, "Where are you?" And I said, "Well, you've rung me, you should know where I am." He said, "No, I got your number from the secretary." I said, "I'm in my office." He goes, "You in Glasgow?" I went, "Yeah, why?" "Just sold me to Rangers. See you there in an hour's time." That was me getting told I'd just been bought by Rangers. So I actually said, "Okay," and I went to my bosses and said, "Look, I've got to nip out for something, I've got to deal with something." It was only about 10 minutes down the road to Ibrox, and they went, "Okay." So I went down there and I signed the contract for Rangers, and they bought me. But I said to the manager, Job Wallace, I said, "What do we do? What's the programme like?" He said, "Well, we train every morning and we're free generally in the afternoon." I said, I've got a job just down the road, can I keep working in the afternoon?" And he said, "It doesn't interfere with your football." "Yes." So I kept my job for another 20 months as a marketing development manager of this company, and that was amazing, because that also was a great help, I think, in terms of taking your mind off the football, having something else to think about, something else, other situation, because Rangers was a big aspect. When you're a club like Glasgow Rangers, Celtic's the same, it's the pressures on you all the time, in terms of you have to be winning games. If you're not, they always say like 3 defeats in a row is a crisis, the old firm, but it's true. If you're not winning games all the time, you know, but fortunately for me, it was quite successful that first season, and I think it was because I had this job as well, and I was working. So there's two aspects to it, as I say. You're in a fortunate situation now, you get down the line of doing the degree and having the football career, and I don't think it's not one or the other. You can have both, and that's the main thing to concentrate on. You're capable of having both, and I'm an example of that you're able to do it, and you're able to build your life and career. Because then when I gave up playing football, I don't know if any of you know, I went from Brighton, bought me from Rangers, I got sold to Brighton, then Manchester City bought me from Brighton, then I went to Austria, and then I went to Switzerland. So I finished my career playing Switzerland for FC Basel. So that was a good experience. I played in 4 countries at the end of the day. But as I say, it's a marvellous thing to have in your career, is all the changes. Enjoy what it's like, and I'm pretty sure that, you know, from where you are just now in terms of going to do degrees as well as playing your football, you can have both, and you can finish your course and be successful educated wise, but you can also go on and become a footballer as well and play at a high level.
I mean, it's well known that you went on to be the chief executive of the Scottish Football Association. Do you think that having your degree way back then helped you in that?
Yeah, it's no question. I think that, and actually, funny enough, when I finished playing football, I was approached by people with financial services, a company in London, to become a financial advisor.
Mm-hmm.
And it was because they knew I had an education as well, and I had other offers as well. I had loads of offers from people, because it was a great thing, because they know if you've been a footballer, you've got a degree of, what would you say, a mentality of trying to be successful. That's what the sport brings in you. You've got to try and be successful all the time, and a lot of the times people want that kind of individual in their business, because they want somebody who's determined to do well on a regular basis. And I got loads of offers, and I still was getting them even after finishing playing. Was getting loads of offers, and the SFA one came up. I didn't apply for the job; they actually came for me, and they offered me the job, and I wasn't too keen on taking it, and I didn't do my due diligence of it. If I had done that, I would have found out that although I was chief executive of the SFA, I couldn't make any decisions. I was totally shocked by that. And what happened was, all you could do was make recommendations, and every decision had to go to a committee or a board or something, and it was very frustrating. Because they were turning down most of the things because it was coming from me. I was demanding we should do this, we should do that. No, I disagree. Funny, I'll tell you a quick one before we finish. I'd already made my mind up to leave, and this might be helpful to you someday if ever you get into this situation. But I read this book. I read a lot of book in psychology, management, and all that, because I'm involved in that type of thing even to this day. And one of them was quite interesting. It said that, see if you're involved in a committee where your other people are making the decision, don't say, here's what we should do. Say, there's these 3 options available, I'm not sure what's best. What do you think? And then ask them to make a decision on it. And you know what happened? It happened on the 3 occasions I did it. They made the decision that I would have wanted, but because it wasn't me telling them to do it,
Yeah, good
they
call.
voted for it, right? So it's like, it's quite a good one to use that.
Yeah,
to
I
say,
like that.
yeah, it's quite good to say, oh, I'm not sure what's best, what do you think? And then each time it was what I would have said. If I'd sat there and going, I think we should do this, they'd probably go, no, I don't want that. They'd have voted against it.
Nice one, I like
Yeah.
that. I'll need to try that with you, Jen.
It does
One
work.
of the things I spoke to you before several years ago about this, about the wastage for kids at this age that's been in the pro youth setup,
Yeah.
and you told me some stats at the time and it was pretty shocking, the wastage.
It was about 92% it was of kids that
Wow.
come through the system and don't get there and get put out. And it's wrong. I mean, the football doesn't treat people, it's a bit like show business to a certain degree, you know, it's like, it's down to somebody's opinion at the end of the day. And a lot of kids get put out of the game.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how that can happen. I'll tell you a good story. I was talking to the guy who ran the Manchester United youth system, and he said, well, we're all chasing that young player, desperate to get this young player. Every club in England was one because he was so talented. And he said, we come up with an idea. He said, we'll sign his brother and he'll come to us. They're all chasing Phil Neville. That's why they signed Gary Neville from Manchester United. I know what he said. He said, Gary wasn't even going to be a pro. He wasn't good enough. He said, we got him. We got Phil because we signed Gary. He said, after 6 months, I said, what we'll do? And he said, we'll get rid of Gary now. And he went, no, Phil will be upset. We'll keep Gary. He said, but see of the two of them, he said, the two of them, Phil had been too used to, I think, being told, you're a star, you're brilliant. He didn't work anything like Gary did. Gary was so dedicated to improve, become a better player, that 6 months after that, he got a contract in his own right because he developed so much. So it shows you that it's not necessarily down to somebody who you think, oh, he's not good enough. He proved later on he was because of his right attitude and the amount of work he put in. So that's something I would say to you as well in the football side of things. Although you get your education, I also did want to improve my ability at all times, no matter what age it was, what level. I'd always taken in my mind, I want to be better at this and better at that, and I always tried to become better. And I worked hard as a little boy. I worked hard on both feet. I became a very two-footed player. It was a great example. The command manager came in. I'd been in the team for a year, and he came in and he put me in the left wing. And after 3 games, I went to see him and said, look, boss, you put me in the left wing. I don't want to play there. He says, I need to play there, son, because I need a left-footed player on the left wing. I said, I'm not left-footed, I'm right-footed. He went, no, you're not, you're left-footed. I thought, when I look back now, it's a bit of a compliment that.
Absolutely.
He's arguing me what foot, I think. Yeah. But that was me, I was doing the left winger. But I was totally dedicated to becoming two-footed and improving. So the main thing about it is, and fitness is a big thing too, work on your fitness at all times and to improve that, because that is the key aspect of being at your best in a football park. It's also about how fit you are, because when your fitness grows, most people tell you this, when you see players in the park tiring, what happens? They start making mistakes, their game deteriorates because their fitness is gone. So the main thing also to work on is your fitness levels to make sure it's at a high level.
Great words, Gordon, there. On the fitness, I'm going to bring Jen in. As I said earlier on, there's fitness, nutrition, and Jen deals with all you guys and all the rest of the boys every week. What's your thoughts, Jen, on the fitness side of it?
Absolutely, obviously we've tried best just to drill down to you guys. I think that sometimes you think, oh, this is just a piece of nonsense, I can't be bothered, but it's so important and you don't understand, and especially if we're going to America as well. There's a big difference from playing football here in Scotland, where the weather is at the best maybe 25 degrees compared to being over in America and training and playing in heats of up to 40 degrees, guys. So it's all about getting your fitness levels up. You'll have to adjust massively when you go over there. Bulking up, I know that I've got a few people that are on different plans, but you need to stick at your programme. You guys are all doing really well. I'm proud of you. Like, you are handing your stuff in weekly, and I know we have some of our new people that have just signed up as well that are just getting into the swing of it, but definitely fitness 100% need to concentrate on.
I mean, it's so important, boys and girls, that you take what Gordon says there and you take what Jen says, that, I mean, fitness is king for you. I mean, as Jen says, going over to the USA, they play sometimes easily 3 matches a week, and easily can go over 100 degrees playing in that heat. So you really need to be super fit. And that's what we've got you on the training programme for, and sometimes you might come in at night and say, I need to get out and do my 2-minute and stuff like that, but our way of getting you fit is to make sure that you're adhering to the training programme. So if you think that you're just going to go over there and just sort of play along, you're not going to get a lot of game time, so you've got to be really, really fit. And as Jen says, everybody in this room is doing very well, so well done in that. You heard the dropout rate for kids here in this country, 92%. It's incredible that happens. So football, God will tell you, it can be up, you can be down, but going to get a degree, going to study, be a full-time footballer and be a full-time student at the same time means you've got that piece of paper that sets you up for the rest of your life, just like Gordon says in there. And nobody can take that degree off you. After 4 years, if somebody's get the opportunity, and I'm sure you will, go and play pro in the US, you know, if that doesn't work out, you've got that degree that sets you up for the rest of your life. And that's what going to America is. So it's working hard now. It's not when you go over there. When you're over there, then everything's structured for you. It's the getting there and your fitness and your attitude and everything about you has got to be 100%. Your attitude's got to be good. You've certainly got to be committed. You've got to be enthusiastic, and you've got to have skill factors as well that takes you to the level you want to get at. So yeah, well done. We as a company are very, very passionate about working with you and getting you to another level, but at the end of the day, you've got to do the work. We can only do so much for you. You've got to do the work. So I'm just going to get around just very quickly here and get a wee bit out of you. We've got a wee scouser here, Farah, all the way up from Liverpool, who's came up and she's been on a pre-season training, part one of it over 2 weeks. She's committed, she looks like she's committed to go to Texas in January of this year. Farah, how have you found the fitness side of things? And
Because I'm enjoying it, I've been doing one-to-one sessions with Jose and training with Central Girls, and yeah, I look forward to next week doing it.
okay, well done, brilliant. And we have Alex to our left, a wee midfield dynamo, both that can get stuck in, Gordon. How have you found things, Alex?
Good. It's the fitness side of it. Obviously, it's difficult, but I know what I'm working towards. I'm excited to go. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it a lot.
Brilliant.
I'm Dom, and fitness is hard, but it's worth it. It's worth all the difficulties. I'm excited to go.
Brilliant.
Well, I'm team. It's obviously dreading when you come in, you need to do a 2-minute run, and when you go into it, it's hard, but when you get under 21, it is good, and obviously it gives you a bit of joy that you've done it.
Brilliant. I take it you are all staying away from the burger van, the rolls and sausage.
I'm Declan. Obviously the fitness, it's hard to start it, but if you just keep giving yourself these small goals, targets, getting your time down, a couple of seconds every week, it just gets easier and easier. Motivation was.
Well done, Declan.
I'm Rico, and it's hard and that, but the end of the day, the easier it gets, and it's worth it in the end.
Okay. Well done, Rico.
I'll just come in on one point here. That
Yeah.
when I went to Rangers, I was actually a good runner all the time in terms of I used to win. Like I held the record at school for the mile, and I was a cross country champion for Ayrshire and all that thing. But what the fitness coach, it was at Rangers, but it was like a sprint coach, and he said to me, "You need to build your upper body up." And I said, "Why?" And he goes, "Because then you'll be quicker." It's quite interesting because if you think about it, if you look at the sport, say the Olympics or whatever, who's the biggest built guys you see? They're all built like boxers. Are the 100 metres runners, aren't they? The distance runners aren't built like that, right? Now, what he did was he had me working on weights, upper body weights to build myself up, upper body, and then I became quicker as well. So that's something maybe to think about.
Absolutely. We've got a few of the boys that we've got here just now are actually focusing on upper body workouts just now as well. Same with some of the girls as well, but as I've always said, that's all about bulk up, you know.
It is crucial because it does make you quicker if you're stronger up here, up top, and I found that myself.
Definitely.
So it's worth thinking about when you're doing your training, yeah.
These are all words of advice, boys, girls, that you need to take on board to improve you, to get you to another level. It's not easy, If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. So it is difficult, and yeah, it's difficult to come in a night like this, and it could be chucking down at rain, and you're thinking, oh, I'm just going to sit and watch the Scotland game tonight. But you know that before you do that, you've got to get out and do your runs, do your upper body work, because long term, as Gordon says, it's going to benefit you. That your upper body is going to be right, your fitness is right, and everything about you is right. And yeah, you know, I was kidding you on about the burger van, but on the other hand, I'm pretty serious about it. There's no point in doing all that and then get out and have rolls and sausage suppers at lunchtime at the school. So you need to keep in that zone as a student athlete. I know this week, Farah, you've been training and Jen's been talking to you about breakfast and the importance of having it, not eating in the run and getting yourself fit. Jen, do you want to elaborate about that?
Absolutely. When the programmes come through, the amount of student athletes that we see are skipping meals. Breakfast being one of them. I've always said to anybody that's came and signed up, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. The reason why it's called breakfast is because when you go to sleep at night, your body goes into a fast. When you wake up the next morning, you're breaking that fast. And if you don't break it by having something to eat, your body starts to panic. That's when it starts to store onto different things. You need to make sure that you're fueling your body and you're fueling your body with the right stuff. So never skip a meal, always breakfast, lunch and dinner. Farah, you've heard it all week. And at least 2 snacks a day as well, guys. This is about keeping your body healthy and fueling it with the right stuff. So absolutely, no skipping meals.
And drinking plenty of water.
And drinking plenty of water, absolutely. Especially when you do got your training and stuff like that, where you're helping out your run, you're sweating more, make sure you up your intake and your water as well.
Just before we bring our friends in from Scottish Autism, just a little bit about our girls that went over to Denmark there a couple of months ago. Farah got the goal of the tournament. We played teams from, we took our girls over, we lost out I think by 1 point and then just getting to the final, but we beat teams from Norway. But the USA girls were at a different level. We drew 2-1-2. I think we only lost one game. But their fitness levels were at a different level because at 14 they're training twice a day. I was speaking to one of their coaches, twice a day at 14 in preparation for them going to college in the USA. So their fitness levels were through the roof. And that's what you've got to match basically, you know. So that was good. We're going for the cameras. We're going back next year again. So we're delighted to be going over to Denmark. Thank you for our friends coming in from Scottish Autism. Just to finish off, can you give us a wee bit about the charity, because we're going to support it this season right through to the end of next summer effectively, and do what we can and get you guys to come along to our events and fill your buckets and whatever you want to do. So, and of course we'll be happy to help as we go along, you know. So can you tell me a little bit about the charity? Graham's filled me in a little bit about it, so could you give us a wee broad about the charity, please?
No problem. Well, we're delighted to be selected as your partner for this year. It's great news for us when we got in touch with John. So I don't know how much people know about autism. You may have a friend or a colleague or a neighbour that you know is autistic, but we estimate there's 1 in 100 people in Scotland are autistic. So there's about 56,000 people in Scotland. So there's a lot of people that we're trying to help. We have services across Scotland. We're as far north, we're up in Orkney, down to South Lanarkshire, we're down in Biggar, and we're in Fife and Tayside, we're across the board. We support over 400 people in Scotland with our services. We have a school called New Stream School, which takes autistic children, supports autistic children from across the UK. And we also have services for adults across Scotland as well. And we offer online support through our website, and we offer other support to people that they can access, and also our advice line as well. So we take a number of calls from people that are looking for our help. So all the funds that we raise will help us to support autistic people in the communities across Scotland, which we're delighted with.
Brilliant.
So we're looking forward to
Brilliant,
getting the
yes.
plan in
Our
place.
events on match day are bedlam. Parents all arriving at the same time, try to get the kids on the pitch, try to get it filmed. So you guys will be doing all the work effectively. So parents that are out there, you'll see them there with buckets or whatever, so please give generously to this great charity. May I thank everyone for coming in. First of all, again, a very, very big thank you to Gordon Smith. Give him a big round of applause. Fantastic. A big thank you to Scottish Autism, who we're going to be supporting. Come on, give them a big round of applause. To our young student athletes that have just started and they're going to be going across to the USA either next year or the year after. Well done. Your commitment levels have been superb. So keep up the good work, because nothing succeeds like success. You've got to put the hours in, you've got to put the work in. What Gordon says in here, yeah, you can do both. So you're going to be a full-time student and you're going to be a full-time footballer. And that opportunity, when it comes along, you need to grasp it. But it's like signing for a professional club. The stats aren't great here in Scotland. Once you go over there, you haven't made it. That's the start of your journey. We're just getting you ready, getting you prepared. So if you think you're going to go over to America, the USA owes you 11, then you're sadly mistaken. They'll be looking at you guys and saying, what can they bring to the table? Are they fit? Are they working hard? Can they get us into the playoffs? So that's what you'll be playing alongside with and against kids from all over the UK, kids from Denmark, Sweden, Germany, Brazil, South Africa, Barbados, all over the world. Kids want to go to the USA on a soccer scholarship. So they'll be working hard from 14, they'll be at a right good level, and our job is to get you to that level. So well done in the start of your journey, but it's only the start, so let's give them all a big round of applause. Well done. Jen, I need to thank you. You have been absolutely fantastic, stood up, have worked so hard, as well as being our fitness and nutrition consultant and dealing with all the kids. You're now our office manager and working with me every day. I don't know how you do that, you know, but you're doing a great job, so let me publicly say very, very well done to you. Thank you everyone for coming. Well, to the viewers, that's our second podcast, so we're going to do it every couple of months, and I hope you've enjoyed this one, and thank you everyone for coming. Please help yourself to a water or a coffee or anything before we go. Okay? Yeah. Thanks everyone. Thank you. Thanks very much. Okay, well, what a great little podcast that was. And finally, I want to have great pleasure that we can announce that Gordon today has become an ambassador of 5-star international events. Gordon, that's great.
I'm delighted to be an ambassador. I think it's a great, I would say, cause, even just to the fact that you're helping a lot of kids develop in this country, not only educationally but sporting wise too, and they can do their scholarships in America, which is key for sporting scholarships without doubt, and I'm delighted to become an ambassador.
Thank you.
Pleasure, John. Thank you.
Look forward to working with you.
Me too.